I would like the first speaker for debate number 6, the antagonist, to come up ready to go. Your 3 minutes starts now.
So we're looking at digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, we've listened to the presentations before us, and I think you agree with me that digital transformation is a must. It cuts across all pillars, and in the center sits the customer. We cannot move slowly, and we cannot be left behind. The question, for example, we ask is, why is this at the center are digital related? Is it lack of understanding, or are we doing something wrong? We'd like to see that 43%, for example, go to near zero, if not zero itself. We have identified about 5 major problems with this regard. There's system stability, it's data, it's monitoring and reporting, it's simplicity and efficient processes. And most importantly, all these issues are all about the customer experience. It's more like we snooze, we lose. So in terms of system stability, we are trying to partner with the likes of Airtel, MTN, and so on. The question to ask is our systems stable enough to integrate with these partners efficiently? Are their systems ready for us? Are we really, really ready for this digital transformation? We need to accurately keep information up to date. Data sometimes is not up to date. Contact details, phone numbers, email information on clients. If we are to do these digital platforms, sending one-time passwords, they need current phone numbers, current emails, and so on. In fact, let's go beyond getting such information. For example, if a client complains, we should be able to see in the system the next time we're there if they're member. So members, you do have the information, right? Reporting, not about all systems. The system needs to work, and it needs to be intelligent enough to, for example, give alerts. For example, the current system, the DSX for KYC, it doesn't recognize when a passport expires. That shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't have to rely on customers' complaints to fix a problem. Let's go with those reports to show TAT and other assurance metrics so that we can continuously improve. The systems needs to be simple and efficient, not overwhelming. We need to engage the actual users of the systems, including clients, as we put the system together. That will promote efficiencies. Let's accelerate the decommissioning of the legacy systems.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I'm cutting you on time. You're just over 3 minutes. Lovely points put across. Thank you for opening. Certainly some interesting thoughts to have a look at there. Let's go to first speaker on the other side. Protagonist, your 3 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much. So digital is the way to go, digital transformation. There's no way about it. For us to be able to keep up with our clients' needs, there's no way we can do this without looking at digital. And that's why we've invested so much into digital, including creating a whole department that looks at digital transformation. I'm not going to talk about systems, software, and data that we've put our money in. I think at the end of the day, the customer wants to see what this means for them. So we are selling convenience. And the whole point of 360-degree view of our clients is to understand what does convenience look like to our clients. For me, convenience is being able to sit as I'm sitting down in my living room and being able to pay all my bills without having to stand up. It's about me buying talk time for myself or for my daughter that's somewhere out there that needs talk time. I'm able to send the talk time to her. It's about me being able to pay my daughter's school fees because I've just gotten a loan within 15 minutes on the Stanbic internet banking app and be able to pass on the school fees to the school. It's about me as a business owner being able to pay my suppliers, my taxes online, and to be able to send money to my grandmother in the village who's unbanked. So I think what we are selling is convenient. Are we there yet? I would say no, but I think we are really have created a brilliant base. Are we ready to get onto the digital journey? Are we ready to go onto the platform? What we are saying is that with the base of convenience that we've created for our customers, we are definitely ready to go ahead and deliver this. With digital, you can never be 100% ready or you feel that you have 100% gotten there. It's because of the nature of it. It's constantly evolving. Clients' needs are constantly evolving. So you never arrive. But we have a very good base. To counter the argument of systems downtimes and ATM downtimes, I think people need to keep the stats, need to know the stats. If you look at our September report, our system uptime was sitting at 99%. Our ATM uptime was sitting at 98%, our branch data link was sitting at 99%, and our international link at 100%. 85% of our customers in personal markets are accessing their loan using the digital platform. These are very high numbers, which tell you that we are definitely far ahead and we're ready for this journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And some impressive numbers there. Interesting to hear. I also appreciate the acknowledgement that there's work to be done. And then the question is how many more customers you could perhaps take on that journey. Interesting thought. Let's hear from the second speaker from the antagonist side. Over to you, second speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good to hear some stats being given by the protagonist, but I stand to punch a few holes in those stats. I'll start with system stability. I heard some statistics being given for 99%. Our system was up at 99%, but I know for a fact that we don't have systems that can or tools that can measure uptime for systems like internet banking, mobile banking, and like my the previous speaker said from my team, 43% of the queries that we're receiving in the call center relate to digital. It therefore begs that we give the need to monitor these systems and platforms the attention and monitoring tools that they need for us to know proactively that this system is down, other than waiting for a customer to call in and tell us that they have a transaction failure. It's very important for us that if we're going to reap the benefits that we have stated in our strategy by integrating with the fintechs, that we perhaps spend a little bit more money and invest a little bit more on our systems, or indeed identify the pain points that are causing the downtime that we've been experiencing in the past few months. We would also suggest that perhaps we should review our SLAs with our partners and service providers with the possibility of quantifying the lost revenue during the times of downtime and passing these on to the partners. Maybe then they will upgrade their systems and come to the table with better platforms that can integrate with ours as we provide services to our customers. Data is also another issue that's of great importance and needs serious attention. And at the center of everything we do is a customer. And we need to give the customer the power and control to manage their resources, their accounts. Customers should be able to create their own accounts and profiles. They should be able to change their login credentials, password, user ID, whenever they feel they need to. And to enable this, we need to have correct details in terms of phone numbers and email addresses. The current statistics show that we're at 77% in terms of accounts with phone numbers, and 19% in terms of accounts with email addresses. Now that's quite a low. And these are just statistics that show that for this account number, we have something that looks like a phone number. Whether that phone number works or gets through is another issue. So we really need to drill down and perhaps have a project set around this issue to compare what we have on DSX and what's sitting on Finacle. And we believe that we will yield some results and improvement in the data that we have, and subsequently an improvement in digital channel utilization. Monitoring, I spoke about monitoring and reporting. I think we're happy that we have Finacle. but it feels like we bought a Ferrari that came without airbags. So most of the times we're flying blind, and we can't see, and we can't improve and fix what we can't see. So currently, like I said, we have no tools that monitor internet and mobile banking uptime. We have no reports, automated reports that show TAT for card issuance, for example, or turnaround time for telegraphic transfers. And our recommendation again is that we relook and engage our system developers to provide these reports. Secondly, we can use the talent that we have in the bank to develop some of these tracking and reporting mechanisms to give us some insight and measure our systems a little bit better. At the end of it, we want to ensure that the customer has a perfect and excellent experience as they interact with our digital platforms. And they say first impressions are everything. That being the case, we need to get it right the first time, all the time. If I go to an ATM today, as I go home, on my way home, and it's not working, I try it again tomorrow, it's not working, chances are that I'll never go back to that ATM. I'll move on and use perhaps an FNB or ABSA ATM because it seems to be working all the time. When you go to a hospital, the doctor will log onto his desktop or laptop and access your profile. They will see that in the last number of visits that you went to the hospital, you went for a BP checkup, diabetes, or whatever, and he will see the prescriptions that were given, and he will know what to use this time. Similarly, we need a tool, a CRM tool, that shows the problems and experiences that customer have had throughout their journey with us, and we need to identify trends and anticipate that the customer.
I love the persistence. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to interrupt you. George, hello.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, give George a huge round. What a picture. Phenomenal. Thank you. Give him a round. Thank you very much. Well done. Kevin, am I good to go? Alrighty. Thank you, George. Alrighty. Super. I'd like to hear from the presenter on the other side. Second speaker, George, points well made. Thank you. Let's hear from the protagonist, second speaker. Over to you. Bring yourself up on screen. Thank you.
Yeah. I think I'll just start by echoing what Ngozi said with regards to, we've already created a base that we can leverage off. We've already created, we've already enhanced our digitization. So for us, really, it's really just about enhancements. And those enhancements can really be targeted over a short term, medium term, or even up to the long term. For example, in the short term, you can work towards improving security to cater for mobile banking. As well as we've already established, we've already created a digital lending capability. It's just really about extending to commercial clients and really when you're extending it to commercial clients, what we can do is maybe setting some parameters in place where you can actually have a small pre-approved limits for these guys to be able to actually access financing through digital lending. And then in the long term, obviously the data one is a big one. It's key to reiterate the fact that we already have data mining capabilities within the bank. We already have 2 resources there. It's really just about building on that. Also, it's about trying to understand what sort of data we need to get. It's about moving from machine learning to artificial intelligence. At the moment, it's more about machine learning. It's more about studying past behavior, but we need to move to a place maybe where we are actually simulating future scenarios, trying to understand trying to predict client behavior, creating a list of solutions to address those changes in client behaviors. So resources need to be moved in that direction, because that's going to create already a list set of solutions that the bank already has to be able to respond quicker to future changes in client behavior. And then obviously the other thing with regards to the platform capabilities, we've already have platform capabilities. Maybe some of the things in the short term we can improve is maybe the inclusion of Lusaka Water on all the platforms, internet banking and USSD. Also just enhancing the capability of tax payments via mobile or phone. that can be done within the short term. I don't think there's a lot that needs to be done there. Also enabling bulk payments for mobile banking. And then in the long term, trying to improve the platform so that we can also offer things like insurance, selling and buying on the platform, as well as trying to leverage on our capabilities in South Africa. We already won an award for our Quantum Leap solution. So we need to leverage that beyond the trade finance route, using the same technology, using blockchain technology that we appear to be using in South Africa very, very successfully, and trying to use that as a way of actually reducing the time that it takes to actually have payments crossing the border. Mochisunga?
Well done. Thank you very much. 23 seconds to spare. Nicely done, gentlemen, on both sides. Ladies and gents, I'm going to open to the floor. And as I open to the floor, I'd like to hear from the panel. You've heard the first 2 rounds of the debate. What is your feeling overall? Cass, you're back in here. Chuma, just for your luck, you're in here with Lena. What are your thoughts? You've heard the first 2 sets. Let's start with Lena first. What have you heard, and what are you hoping to hear further in the debate?
I actually think it's a bit of an unfair argument, unfair panel, because George sits right at the heart of customer service at the CCC, and he will have all those stats at his fingertips, and which he's done so articulately. But I because of that, I'm more inclined to go with George. And whilst I appreciate the protagonists, that guys, we've done very well. So not George, the antagonists, it's a team. That we've done well, we've developed, there's a lot of work to be done, but I think the reality is that we still have probably on a scale of 1 to 10, we're probably at 20% of what we can potentially do. And some of this comes out of my exposure to Trailhead and Salesforce. That just shows you what is possible and how much we can actually use data and develop by. And I think, yes, we've done well, but there's a lot more to be done. But also importantly as well is really what's our customers' experience. You know, the statistics that we're referring to as protagonists are statistics that, yes, we have the tools that we use, but I ask the question, is that what the customer feels like? Does the customer feel like we're 98% uptime on our ATMs and on our systems? Or does that 2% that we're down, could that be that that particular customer has had a bad experience? So my view is that I'm going with antagonists, that there's work to be done, and that you know, need to invest a bit more. Thank you. So we're not ready.
Lena, thank you very much. You're putting some pressure on the closers. We're going to hear what the closers have to say, but right now you're going with the protagonist. Let's hear from Cass. Cass, you've been listening to the first 2 rounds of the debate. What's your feeling?
Yeah, so the question I keep asking myself as I listen is, how does the customer view us and our channels? Are we an integral part of their lives, that they look at us and they see us as a partner for the entire for their life, basically, whatever it is that they do? Because for me, the digital journey has to be such that it's so painless and it's so convenient that we have embedded ourselves in our customers' lives. So I would like to hear a little bit more about that. So I'm with the antagonist for now, because I don't think we're yet.
Thank you. So I've got antagonists, I've got protagonists. Interesting to hear. Chuma, we're going to come back to you, like we haven't heard enough from you. What's your view so far?
Steve, you misheard me, Steve. I'm going with antagonists.
You're going with antagonists. Sorry, thank you.
Yes.
So I've got 2 for antagonists. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Let's hear from Chuma. Chuma, over to you.
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you.
Okay.
You're breaking.
Chuma, I'm going to interrupt you. Hi. Forgive me interrupting you, Chuma. You're breaking up. You're sounding a little like R2-D2. What I'm going to ask you to do is hang on with the comments. I'm going to go back. And ladies and gents, I'm going to, just before I go to closes on this final one, I want to open to the floor. Any points of view before we hear closing arguments? Anybody got a point of interest? You've heard the two speakers, you've heard the panel. There's a very strong thrust already, two without doubt, without the clarity of Chuma, two saying antagonist. Can I hear from the floor any particular thoughts or contributions, points of interest? 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen,
Quick point of interest.
Thank you very much, Winder. Let's have your thoughts. Thank you.
Yes, so a very quick one. I think just to hear from the teams what we are going to throw away. So I think as a bank, what's going to happen is I think whilst we are flying, we're going to be changing the engine. But let's find out from the teams, what are we going to throw away in terms of digital transformation? Thanks.
All right, you put that thought in for the closers to do their wrap. Any other thoughts? Another one? Chungu, thank you very much. That's up. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Steve. Yeah,
Howdy.
So I think just to build on to, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah, I think just to build on to Mwindo's point, I think changing the engine is one thing, but I think again, it's just our speed of transformation. I think for me still continues to be quite a big problem. I don't know how we get around how we get around actually delivering what the clients actually need in a timely fashion, because it always feels as if we're always the last one or late to the party. So it'll be interesting to just discuss how we actually get there. I mean, we can change engines, but we'll still continue to land in the same place if we're not able to do it in an agile manner.
Closers, please consider those points. I'd like to go to the wrap up. No pressure on the protagonist. Maybe you can pull it out of the hat. Maybe you can swing the judge's mindset. Let's go to antagonist. You've got the advantage at the moment. Let's hear your closing argument. Closer for the antagonist on number 6.
Thank you very much. So we have embarked on a journey, a digital transformation journey, and we set ourselves a roadmap. So we stayed with probably replacing. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so we stayed with replacing the old banking system, Bankmaster, and we've moved on now to implementing the new banking system, Finacle Core. So now we are at the stage where we are trying to accelerate our digitization. So how is that going? The question I ask myself is, how is that going? So in terms of digitization, I think we're doing quite well with the digital UPOs we've put in place, the online platforms. But how are we doing in terms of adoption and utilization? As has been alluded to, our utilization is already quite low. We are below 20%. So what is the problem there? Where is the problem? I think I would like to look at it at the genesis of the customer journey. So when a customer is being onboarded, so what happens at the customer onboarding stage? When an account is opened, what do we give to the customer? We give them the account number. Do we give them their credentials for logging into an online system? Do we run them through how to operate the system, how to do transfers? I believe it's a culture thing. Again, we've talked about culture a lot. I think there's a certain culture that needs to be instilled in the frontliners in how they onboard clients and encourage them to use our digital channels. Then, true to our strategy, moving back to a journey where we want to be number one. I believe being number one should not only be about profitability, about our loan book or deposit base. Even our systems should show that we are a number one bank. Our systems and platforms should be number one. When people think about sending money, they should not think about FNB e-wallet. They should think about Stanbic instant money,
because it comes down to a point where when you say I'm going to send via Stanbic instant money, you need to explain yourself as in what that is. So I think that's something we need to look at as well. And also when you look at when you think of efficient systems, someone should think about Stanbic. Most of the time, someone will think of a StanChart maybe. And I think we've got ourselves a good platform on which we can build. I mean, we are the market leaders in terms of digital UPOs. We're the first bank to launch digital lending, as well as bulk cash deposit machines. We're the first bank to introduce those things in the market, and our ATMs as well are able to take deposits. So I believe we do have a good platform on which we can build and continue on our digital transformation journey. Then also another piece I'd like to touch on is the customer experience. So I think there's need for a CRM tool, even for our personal market clients. Emphasis has been on business banking and commercial banking, but in order to enhance the customer experience, we need to have a tool where we have all the information and data about a client. I mean, just a thought, wouldn't it be nice if the bank would send you an SMS on your birthday, wishing you a happy birthday? Wouldn't it be nice when the bank would send you an SMS and tell you, no, today's the anniversary of when you joined when you started banking with Stanbic? I think those are all things we need to look into, and we need to accelerate the data journey and analytics so that we can leverage off this to enhance the customer experience. Thank you very much.
Pimbo, thank you very much. Lovely. Let's hear from the closer on the protagonist side. We've heard good arguments. Protagonist, the pressure is on you. Can you sway the judges? Over to you. 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. For the protagonists, as was given in terms of the details by Dean and Ngoza, I think we have to admit, or we have to bear in mind that the bank is ready, even though we are not there yet. We are not where we want to be. The bank has the platforms to support the digital transformation, but we're not there yet. Let me start by giving a quote by Ray Bradbury in his quote, where he said, living at risk is jumping off the cliff and building your wings on the way down. With the current capabilities and platforms, the bank is, we believe that the bank is ready to make that jump off that cliff, because it can build its wings on its way down. We have to remember that we are operating in a very competitive environment. Our competitors are moving ahead. I mean, an example is, for example, Barclays with the launch of the card. We've seen a lot of adverts on TV. I don't think they've arrived yet for them to start launching some of those products onto the market, but they realize that it is a journey that they have to embark on, and it is the same with us. We have the capability and the platforms for us to actually venture into this journey. We have to remember that the operating landscape is continuously changing, and customers are getting more and more sophisticated. Their needs are constantly changing. The bank is also continuously learning to adapt to everything that is changing. The bank is continuously learning as part of its evolution. I mean, examples are, for example, the Trailhead challenge and Salesforce itself. I mean, I've taken quite a number of challenges on Salesforce itself, and one of the ones that I found to be quite interesting, which is part of Salesforce, is what they call Einstein AI Analytics, which actually can bring so much great insights to the bank. At group level, the group has actually set up a number of labs as part of this digital journey. And some of the labs include automation, AI, and I'm actually part of one of the labs. We call it Finance for Automation Lab, which is looking at ways of creating efficiencies within finance through automation. So there is already that journey to learn and prepare the bank as it ventures onto this digital transformation journey. The bank is also aware of what the future holds in preparing for the future. I mean, we we have to understand, and for those who have had the chance to understand and learn about blockchain, I mean, the future of banking is blockchain. I mean, it permeates several use cases in the financial sector with examples such as Ripple.
Close on that. Thank you. The future blockchain. Thank you so much. Well done.
Okay.
Beautifully put across. I'm going to do a quick tour back to the panel for debate number 6. Is your vote still your vote? Lena, are you still swaying the same way?
I still swing the same way, antagonists.
All righty. Thank you. Yes. Not
antagonist.
Yeah, protagonists.
Antagonist. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Antagonist, yeah.
Antagonists, okay. And just for due diligence, let me check. Chuma, where are you?
Antagonist as well.
All righty. So well done to the antagonists. There's just